Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Shamshad Ali, Department of Technology, Surrey University. Today we are going to learn about the environmental remediation and its phases. This is our week 7 or lecture 7, 7th semester of the program of BSc Engineering Technology 7. You can access this lecture at portal.sud.edu.pk. So let's begin our today's lecture. Environmental remediation. What does mean the environmental remediation? First we will learn about the history about this, and then other things that over the past 5 years, environmental cleanup services and remediation industry grown by 1.6%. One of the biggest reasons for this is because for many people it is a necessity. Now environmental remediation becomes a necessity for the people. So that's why we can see 1.6% growth in the environmental cleanup services and remediation industry. Certain large events such as the Deepwater Horizon oil spill stick out in our memories. As we can see in this picture that here it is before the remediation and after the remediation. Clear change, and this is just due to the remediation, soil remediation. Whatever the case may be, there is a chance that the land you want to buy or sell is contaminated. Everywhere you can find the contaminated soil. Some areas are more prone to environmental contamination than others. But it is important to understand that land can be polluted by a variety of sources. As we have learned previously that the land pollution, the causes of the land pollution and the effects and the impact of the land pollution. So land can be polluted by a variety of sources. That is mainly the solid waste, which will be done in a site. Some of these sources can be natural. Some sources can be natural. As part of our dedication to you, we want to help you learn what can you do if your land is contaminated. You can resolve your issues by your own. Groundwater remediation. It is the process of treating polluted water below the earth's surface. As we have learned that the surface water has been polluted, and now the groundwater has been going to polluted. Sadly, some of the groundwater is contaminated. Some pollutants can be removed directly, while others can be converted into harmless products. A few different practices can cause water to be contaminated. Runoff from pumps, source of the water contamination. After the rainfall, the runoff from the farms can contaminate the water. Leakage landfills, if there is some landfill, and if there is leakage, so it can also contaminate your water, and industrial spills. So these are the sources of the and the causes of the water contamination. It is important because water naturally harbors certain types of disease. Additionally, water flows. While this may seem obvious, it is important to keep in mind that an underwater aquifer is a highway for pollutants. The pollutants in the water come across through the underwater aquifer, something nasty could be deposited on your land and can cause serious and long-term problems. Surface water remediation is very similar to the groundwater, except it is far easier to access water above the soil. Surface water is exposed to many different elements in it, as it is contaminated and as it is polluted by the sources like the humans, mainly the humans, the industries, and etc. Still water is a natural breeding ground for insects, bacteria, and many other things which are harmful to humans, as the malaria and recently the dengue. So they can breed in the still water. So that's why still water is a natural breeding ground for some of the insects, bacteria, and etc. Surface water remediation matters because humans are more likely in contact with surface water than the groundwater. So remediation for the surface water is more important because this type of water or the surface water is polluted more as compared to the groundwater. Problems are a little bit simpler to find. You can find the problems like as we can see that the river water is polluted by the industries, by the runoff from the farms, from the factories. So you can identify the problems simply, and it may be a little bit easier to take care of them as well. You can also take care to prevent the water pollution, as you can find out that through which type of the pollution the water has been contaminated. So you can resolve those issues easily. Now the next is the soil remediation. That is the process of removing contaminants from the soil, like the hydrocarbon, heavy metal, etc. All present problems are property owners. There are few different methods to fixing soil. You can fix the soil through different type of methods, like using natural means like bacteria. With the help of the bacteria, the useful bacteria, you can fix the soil. And geotechnical engineering, there is a new type of research has been conducted, that is the bioclogging. You can stabilize the loose sand, the loose soil through some kind of bacteria which goes through the voids, and it can fill up the voids, such kind of bacteria. So you can also use bacteria to fix the soil. That is a kind of the soil remediation. Thermal soil remediation, by transferring the heat into the soil, air spraying, encapsulation. You can cover the soil in the sheets, etc. So through this, your soil has also been fixed. The most immediate remediation is to remove the topsoil and replace with clean fill. Immediate remediation to remove the topsoil and then to replace with clean fill. I will share with you a video in your portal through which you can learn that what type of soil remediation has been used in the industry. Soil contamination has serious, long-term and deleterious effects on ecosystem and property. It can affect your ecosystem. And it can be a danger to the property. Many animals absorb some absorb soil contamination in different forms and can cause massive dams. This in turn can cause more problems, like humans may become permanently sick due to the soil contamination. Now, how soil can be remediated? The physical methods, the biological methods, the chemical methods. In physical method, the rotation, rotization, physical separation, soil flushing, and through thermal. This is the physical remediation methods. And this is the biological remediation methods. These are basically the type of the biological methods. Microbial, animal remediation, etc. You can insert some kind of bacteria through which you can remediate your soil. And this is the chemical leaching and electrokinetic and chemical fixation. So through these three methods, your soil can be fixed through physical methods, biological methods, and chemical methods. Now the third one is the sediments remediation. This is a mixture of soil and water remediation. When mixed these both, new circumstances are created and thus new problems may arise. The Environmental Protection Agency defines contaminated sediments as soil, sand, organic matters and other material that accumulates at the bottom of water body that contain toxic material at high levels. When these sediments come in water, so these sediments contain the toxic material at high levels, so it can pollute your water. Now there is a need to fix the water from the sediments. Sediment is basically the soil, sand, organic matters and other materials that accumulates at the bottom of the water and contain toxic material. Sediments remediation matters because it can affect both the water and the soil. As we discussed, it can be contaminated by both as well. Now, this is most important to learn about the phases of environmental remediation. It can be divided in three phases. The first phase comprises of the desktop study. First, you have to learn about some kind of pollution, some kind of space which will be remediated. Initial investigation. Firstly, you have to conduct initial investigations. Preliminary risk assessment. If there is such kind of risk, you have to assess those risks. This is the first phase of environmental remediation. The second phase comprises of the site assessment report. You have to conduct a report about the site assessment. Detailed field investigation. You have to go to field and to investigate the issue, the problem. Site investigation report, then you have to conduct some kind of report. And risk quantification. This is basically the desktop study. You have to learn about a problem, its initial stage, its final stage. Then you have to conduct some initial investigation. Then the preliminary risk assessment. So these are basically comes into three steps in the phase 2, like the detailed field investigation. First you have desktop study, then you have some kind of field investigation. We have to visit the field, site investigation report, you have to make a detailed report, and then you have to quantify risks about the site assessment. And the third phase comprises of remediation design implementation. How these problems will be solved. You have to design some remediation and implementation. You have to choose a method of remediation basically. Remediation design means to choose appropriate, effective, efficient remediation design, remediation methods, control and monitoring. Then you have to control and monitor the process. And the final is the long-term stewardship. Phases of environmental remediation: environmental site assessment and closure. Site assessment provides the information required to solve your problem because we focus on the fundamentals to form a clear understanding of what surface condition of the for example, if we want to conduct a soil remediation process, you have to you have to clear understanding of the surface condition, subsurface condition, groundwater condition, chemical behavior, chemical distribution, vapor intrusion, regulatory requirements and options. So you have to consider these 6 understanding tools. Subsurface condition of that particular site, groundwater condition of that particular site, if there is some kind of chemical, so what kind of chemical, its behavior, chemical distribution, as it is in the minimum, maximum, that is in normal range, vapor intrusion if required, and regulatory requirements and options. Environmental assessment and remediation services include the peer review, soil and groundwater investigation, remedial action plans, regulatory negotiations, PCRA corrective action, closure if required, feasibility studies, risk-based closure, corrective action plans, groundwater monitoring, soil remediation, and groundwater remediation. So this is it for today's lecture. Hope you will learn something about the environmental remediation and the phases of environmental remediation. In next class, inshallah, we will learn about the pollution management and solution for the pollution management basically. So thank you so much. If you have any query, so then let me know in your portal.edu.pk. So take care and goodbye.